Hi, I'm Fallon Victoria, and you're watching The Courtney Hall Show.
Thank you all for watching another episode of The Courtney Hall Show. I have a special guest with me today. It's Fallon Victoria. How are you doing, Fallon?
I'm great. What about you?
Doing good, doing
good.
good. Thank you for coming on my show. I'm super excited. Listen, let's jump right into it.
All right.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You manage a very big group
Yeah.
for Washington.
Yes.
Talk about just the journey of your life right now. You do a lot of different good things.
Right. Well, I'll start with the business thing.
Okay.
So a couple of years ago, I started a blog. It was called Pen Perceptions. Well, no, first it was called Call Me Mrs.
Okay.
And I was just preparing, just getting some thoughts out about my life. I had just lost my mom, and I wanted to share some things. And I was preparing to write a book, so I wanted to write a blog. So about maybe a couple of weeks in, I just started to write feature articles on people. And by the second article, I got picked up to write for a magazine called, I think it was Iconic Magazine.
Yeah.
And it was a gospel faith-based magazine, and I got the chance to do like a lot of celebrity interviews. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
And so as I started to interact with the different publicists, pitching to get their clients on, I started to become intrigued by that side of things. So I said, you know what if I try to do that on my own? So I just did it. And I was working a full-time job, working for the state of Mississippi. And then I started to get the inkling, like, you know what, I probably could do this full-time. So every break that I got, every 15-minute break, lunch break, I would go to my car and I would study and research because my degree is not in public relations.
Okay, gotcha.
So I just decided that that was what I wanted to do. And maybe a couple of years later, I branched out. And I stepped out and started a business. I put some things in place, and I left my job. I had been there for 9 years. I had been working for the state since I was 19 years old. So I had, built up some retirement and did all, doing all that. So I decided it was time, and I jumped out there. Saved a little money. It was hard.
Now, what made you say, okay, you know what, it's time? What was that day? Do you remember that day that you said, you know what, it's time?
Okay,
this
so
is the time.
the day it was a process, actually.
Okay.
When I started to get the inkling, like, I'm bored. I was doing auditing for Medicaid.
Okay.
And I was honored by the opportunity, but I just knew that it was more for me.
Right.
On the inside, I just had, my intuition was like, this is not it for you.
Yeah.
You have more to offer than this, and I was bored. And so what happened, my husband at the time was injured, and we were at home. I was at home with him for maybe a month or so.
Okay.
And I said, you know what, this is probably a bad time, but I don't want to go back to work.
Right.
I think I can do this. And he said, well, just, put some things in place and do it.
Yeah. And I think it's cool because there's certain things that happen that kind of pushes you into what you need to be doing. So, I mean, that's awesome. Now, let's talk about the Difference Group.
So that's where that came from.
Okay.
So all of that evolved into the Difference Group.
Gotcha.
I got my first contract with a couple of artists. And my first big contract, I guess you could say, was with a company called the Jackson Medical Mall Foundation in Jackson, Mississippi.
Nice.
So it's the world's first medical mall.
Nice.
And it was started by a black man, Dr. Aaron Shirley.
Wow.
So I had the opportunity to do marketing and communications for this company. So that's what I was waiting on during the jump period.
Okay.
I had put in a proposal. Well, about 2 or 3 months in, I hadn't heard back. So I'm like, Lord, do I need to go back to work? You know?
Maybe I should go back.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
So the day that I was getting ready to dissolve the LLC, the Difference Group, I was getting ready to dissolve it, and I decided, I need to go back to work. And I got the call that said, hey, your proposal has been accepted. Are you still interested? Like that in that moment.
Wow.
So I was like, okay.
Like this
I hear you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I hear you loud
So,
and clear. Yeah. Now, you manage a group for Washington. Talk about that. How did you get that group?
Well, at the medical mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was this program called Sing Jackson, and Carmen, who's the oldest girl in the group, she had auditioned, and she actually won the competition in her age group. And Mom made the other siblings become a part of the group. in true mom fashion. So I didn't know that they were siblings. So initially, we had been working on some things with the group I was volunteering with, Sing Jackson as a program.
Gotcha.
And I think we were putting together a showcase for, it was probably about 30 youth. And I noticed that they were just so talented. So mom approached me and she asked would I manage Carmen initially.
Okay.
And of course, I didn't say no. She would probably say, well, you said no. I didn't say no. I don't think I said no.
You said, I don't think I said no.
I think because I had never done it before, so I was a little hesitant. I don't like to promise things that I know I can't deliver.
Yeah. And I think that's even better than somebody saying yes to me.
Right.
I would rather somebody say, you know what, I'm not I'm not trained in this field, so I'm not very comfortable with doing this. Right. Instead of saying, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and they don't know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. So we met, and the first contract was initially with Carmen, but all of them came to the initial meeting, and they were totally fine with just supporting Carmen. And I remember them; they are always humming and singing tunes. So I said, "What are you gonna do with the group?" And they were kind of like, "Oh, we good. We just gonna support Carmen." But it worked. So I was like, this is something that's marketable right now. Y'all are young. You have loads of potential. Yeah. And I think we could really do something with this. Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah, they're so amazing. Now, did they start off as a inspirational group or a gospel group, and then it kind of moved over into just doing more
into pop? Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So they've been singing since they were super young.
Gotcha.
Mom taught them how to sing.
Oh wow.
And
she's here today. She's amazing.
She's here. Always is my right hand and left. Yeah. So she taught them how to sing. As the story goes, their mom and their dad have always been a huge part of their career and will sacrifice everything for whatever they wanted. So for them to trust me with their children that said a lot for me. Yeah. And for me, the way that I manage is with them, I knew that I had to pour everything that I had into them to make it work. And to let them know that I'm somebody that you can trust. And so we built this family type rapport. And we do a lot together. So it's not just, we travel together, but it's not just for singing stuff. Like we attend each other's family functions. Their family knows my family, and we probably are family somewhere on down the line.
Right, and I think that's so good because, it makes your relationship great. It's good for business probably as well because you, like you said, they trust you, you trust them. Right. And it's just really good. Now, you're a writer as well. Yeah. Let's talk about that. You're a storyteller or writer. How did you start, or when did you say, you know what, I really love writing? I like telling stories.
Probably like 6.
Wow.
I was always super interested in like words that rhymed. Okay. And my mom would tell me. My mom was a singer, songwriter, and all. I
heard you humming too.
We're gonna let that go. But she would always tell me. She said, "Fallon, you have a gift of words." She said, don't ever, like you need to use that. That's going to be the thing for you. And so Oprah and I share the same birthday. So she would always say, she would buy me this book every year that has celebrities who share the same birthday with you, January 29th. And she said, you're going to meet her one day. Now, that hadn't happened yet, but
it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. But she said, never stop with writing. So I like to write pretty much anything. I'm not a niche or genre type person. I write, I have a couple of books that I've written I have not published yet. Okay.
What's holding you back from publishing them?
To be honest, life.
Okay.
I won't say it's holding me back. It's just sometimes things happen and kind of throw you off track. And then when the Fort Washington thing came about, I knew that I wanted to run full speed ahead with that because, they're only going to be young for a certain period of time. So I was willing to sacrifice this particular period of time to put it into them.
That's so good. That's so good.
But now, they're learning a lot more about who they are as individuals and who they are as young people and who they are as artists. So they're at the studio now. So I had a chance to leave the studio and come here and do this.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. And Madison is actually producing for them.
Yes. My goodness. They sound amazing working with him. He's amazing. It's just, they're just amazing. The whole group is amazing. Definitely. And getting to know you, you're awesome as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, what are your thoughts on the Black Lives Matter movement?
Black Lives Matter. I feel like Black Lives Matter is a necessary movement. And I feel like it's necessary because it has to be stated that Black Lives Matter. Yeah. And I think a lot of people misunderstand what that means. It doesn't mean that Black lives only matter. It means that
teach the people.
Black lives matter because you didn't realize that they did at first. So it means that me or us being pro-Black does not make us anti-white. It just means we appreciate who we are and we need for you to do the same. We respect who we are and now you need to get in line with it.
Now, what is the importance of voting?
Voting is, I feel like it's a right, but it's a privilege as well. Because so many people don't have that the way the system is set up with systematic, racism and oppression and the way things have spun over the years. There are so many things out there that could take away that right to vote and that privilege to vote. Voting is necessary because it shapes our society. And it trickles down to what we have access to as individuals.
Now, should we be more concerned with the national level of voting or should we focus on local?
I feel like both, but it starts at home. There is a proverb, or it may be a Bible verse too, but my aunt used to always tell me, she said, charity starts at home and spreads abroad. So you have to always focus in on where you live and where you lay your head. So it's important to get involved in your own community. Get involved, go to the city council meetings, be a part of community organizations that are volunteering, do that work, and also support those local officials. Actually get out and vote. Choose those because some people feel like we don't have power. Our vote has no voice on the national level, which I disagree with that. But but even if you feel that way, vote where you are. Vote where you are.
Right, because local officials are making decisions on how we live our lives every day. So vote locally and vote nationally.
Absolutely.
Now, what would you say to your younger self if you had to talk to young Fallon Victoria? What would you say?
Believe in who you are and what you have to bring to the table. Know that you are beautiful and you are enough. That was something that I struggled with for a long time, was insecurity. And always looking for that validation in somebody else. But when you know what's inside of you, nobody has to tell you that.
Come on. Where's the collection plate? Pass me, because I'm going to put a little something in there. No, but that's so amazing. And I love the fact that you said you are enough. Like anything... Thinking about me starting this show and everything like that, like everything that I need is already within me. Everything that you need or anybody need is already inside of us. We have everything, so just go forward and do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Fallon, for coming on my show. This was amazing.
It was.
Whenever you put out your book or whenever you do anything else, you're going to have to come back. See us again.
I will be back. And, Fort Washington has new music coming out. I have some music Madison produced.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, we're going to have to hear all of that. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching another episode of The Courtney Hall Show.